Hello, welcome to the Voice of Your Passions interview series. I'm Stephanie Bonte-Lebair with the Empowered Voice and Empowered Business Networking. And I'm super excited to be here with Dr. Jovan Jackson today, who's going to help us learn how to get out of debt. Hello, I think we all need some help around that at some point in our lives, if not right now. So let's get started. I'm going to just introduce her officially, and then we're going to jump right in. So Dr. Jovan Walker Jackson, known as the Financial Coach of Hope, is a faith-filled author, speaker, and licensed financial and insurance advisor who serves as the president of Good News Financial and Investment Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisory firm in the state of Maryland. Jovan helps financial programs and insurance strategies to assist clients in the areas of debt elimination, tax reduction, retirement planning, asset preservation, and long-term care alternatives. Her drive and passion to teach financial literacy has led her to become a sought-after wealth manager and advisor in the Baltimore, D.C. metropolitan area for 15 years. Jovan has been featured on countless radio shows and taught many workshops for private and government corporations. In 2014, Jovan wrote, "You Be the Bank, Finance Yourself to Wealth," and the Workbook Companion in 2016, a self-help financial book that teaches a 100-plus year secret strategy the wealthy have been using for years to build wealth. You can get your copy at www.youbthebankbooks.com or Amazon. She just released a monthly financial planner, I Am the Bank, in September 2020. When not working in her purpose, she is spending time with her husband, Lawrence, and two daughters, Jada and Lauren. Welcome, Jovan.
Hi, Stephanie.
So
Hello,
excited to have
hello.
you. So I always jump in with the very first questions, always the same. Tell me about your passion for this. Why are you a Be the Bank advisor? Like, what got you into this?
I tell you, when people, initially, you read this long bio and they see me, they see a person who's accomplished a lot, and I have, owning my own firm and being a military Army vet. Leaving corporate at 24, making six figures, right? All these great things have happened, but what most people don't know about me is that in 2008, I had the rug, 2009 actually, I had the rug pulled right from underneath of me. I found myself broke, busted, and disgusted. Okay. I was pregnant and alone after the 2008 real estate buzz. And I had lost almost 80% of my liquid savings to in this bus. Foreclosure became my reality, bankruptcy, repos, divorce, all of that, right, became my reality. And I found myself sitting on the side of my grandmother's bed during the Christmas holiday weekend, and this about 2009. I had decided to spend the holiday weekend with her since I was separated from my husband. I didn't want to be alone, and I had a colleague had given me a book to read, and the book was called Tax Free Retirement by a guy named Patrick Kelly. So I decided to read that book during that holiday weekend, and what I learned from the book was mind blowing. Okay, because ironically, the information that I was reading, I had already been pre-exposed to 3 years prior. Okay, and let me remind you, 3 years prior, I was flying high. Right, I was flipping properties and doing all the great best things, right, choices with my resources. But but the people who shared the strategies that and that information with me 3 years prior, they did not give me all the information. Had I known what I was reading in the book at that time, I would have made some different choices back then. And of course, my then current situation at that time could have been completely different. And I know many of you, maybe even you, Stephanie, and those who are watching today can relate to where you've gotten information, but not all the information, and it caused an unfavorable outcome. And so I was so passionate about the strategies that I was reading and learning in that book, to be your own bank strategies and things like that, that I decided I was going to become a messenger of good news, right? Because I just didn't want nobody else in my family or my friends to have to go through the same type of financial devastation that I went through. And so that's why I'm passionate about this thing, because I've lived it and know
Oh
what it's
my
all about.
gosh. It's so true, right? When you go through kind of like that dark night of the soul, that can
Mhm.
be the launching pad for creating what you're meant to do next, right? How you're meant to
Exactly.
support and help
Yep.
people. So as awful as I'm sure that that was, I
Yeah.
mean, it's so great that you are now, helping people in this way. So tell
Yeah.
me, what is that transformation you provide your client? Like when they come to you, what are they struggling with? And then what is the transformation that is possible for them?
Yeah. So when most of my clients come to me, many of them are doing okay financially, and what I mean by that is that they have good revenues in their businesses or salaries. They have positive cash flow, and many have really been able to save some assets. However, what they don't have is clarity or confidence in what their financial future is going to look like because they don't have a clear strategy or track to run on, right? And follow step by step. And so I actually serve two different types of clients. Those who are under the age of 50, who are focused on accumulation and savings and things like that. And then those who are over age 55, who are shifting to more distribution and income planning for their retirement. And so I've created two different processes to serve them both, but one is called Good News Retirement Process, and then the UB the Bank Cash Flow Blueprint. But after completing either of my processes, clients leave not only with good news and hope, right, in their financial future, but they also leave with confidence because now they actually have a clear strategy and plan to get there.
I love that. I love that you offered the good news. Like we all want to have good news when it comes to our finances.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
why I
like
named
you're
my company Good
yeah,
News.
I
Because it's
love
so
that
much
because then
doom
you're
and
finding
gloom.
the good news, you're intentional, you're digging it out. You're like,
Yes,
here's the good news,
that's
right?
right. It's so
And
much doom and gloom around finances
yeah.
today. So I
Yeah, and
get
I
it.
think we all want to have the confidence that we're on track to
Yeah.
create the retirement that we want to
Hmm.
have and the lifestyle that we want to have in our later
That's right.
years.
That's
And
right.
I do find that there is a lot of question around that. Like do I have enough saved?
Yeah,
Should I be saving more? Like
that's right.
am I going to be able to retire and still have
Hmm.
an income that allows me to go on vacations and do whatever we want to do, right? So
Exactly.
having that clarity and
Hmm.
that confidence piece, oh my gosh, it just would free up so much energy. I feel
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
to be able to enjoy your life a little bit better. So I
That's
love
right.
that. Do you have a specific success story of a client that you've assisted?
Sure. Yeah, I'll use this one. This is my most recent one. So I had a middle-aged couple, and they actually came to me for because they were concerned about debt and saving more efficiently. And so they actually went through my cash flow blueprint, and we were able to actually take them from 29.2 years in debt down to 10. Okay, all while spending the same thing that they were currently spending every month. And this includes their mortgage, student loans, all of that. Okay, now about a few months into their plan, they pivoted. And they pivoted to make an investment into a new business venture using some of the savings that they had accumulated in their debt payoff plan. Okay, and this venture is called Be Your what is it? Airbnb. You may have heard of that. If
Yep.
not,
Yep.
Google it. I don't have time to explain it. And so they actually implemented the plan with me in February of 2021. Okay. They end up, the wife actually posted a post on Facebook in July of this year where she had earned over $102,000 from January to July from her Airbnb business. Okay.
Whoa.
Now, listen, if that isn't enough, listen how bad she is. She decided now, once we start having some success, we our light bulbs go off. So now she just started. She's gonna decided she's gonna start a coaching program. Okay, now she's charging people for helping them to get their Airbnb set up. But what she did,
Nice.
she sent me an email sharing about how during one of her discovery calls with one of her prospects for her coaching business had asked her how did she finance her Airbnb, and she told them it was using the UB the bank infinite banking strategy that she had learned from me, and she was actually referring them because now they were interested in the cash flow blueprint. And so she gave me, of course, permission to share her posts to share her post. I've actually shared her post on my page along with that email that she sent to me, and to share her numbers as well as a testimony. So, not just so not only that 10 years the plan that we put together initially to be debt free has been super accelerated. Right now she has a private reserve that now she can continue to build more income sources for ventures like Airbnb, real estate, whatever it is she wants to do. And now she can just keep renting and repeating. So that's one of my most recent
Oh my
testimonies,
gosh.
and it's so exciting.
That is amazing. And this is a perfect example of how, when you have clarity and
Mhm.
confidence, it opens up the doors to things
Mhm.
that you might not have considered before, because then she was
Exactly.
able to do the Airbnb
Hmm.
after she, like, to go from 30 years in debt to 10, to know
Yeah.
that you only have 10 years left. That
Yeah.
is freeing, right?
Yeah.
And so I really believe money is energy, and how
It
you
is.
think about money changes your energy. And so when you're able to have that confidence and clarity, I
Mhm.
love this. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic story.
See.
I love what you're doing. Can you share some tip, a primary tip, a big tip for all of us who are watching this interview? Like, what can we do to start with our journey of having that clarity and confidence?
I think the best tip that I would give everybody is actually a quote. Okay, it's a quote from one of the greatest thinkers of the world, Alvin Toffler. If anybody have ever heard of him, and the quote that Alvin said was that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read and write, but those who are unwilling to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And so when it comes to financial mastery, you have to be willing to learn, right? Because we really haven't been taught, right, about finances as we came through the school system. We haven't been taught. So then we have to learn, and then you have to unlearn, right? Unlearn what? The misinformation or the incomplete information, kind of like my story, right? It was incomplete, but we have to unlearn that we've been taught, and then we got to relearn better concepts and strategies that will truly take you to the next level that you desire to be. So that would be my best business tip that I would give everybody, especially when it comes to implementing and becoming financial masters in your own personal economies.
Yeah, and I think I love this so much because it really speaks to the journey
Mm-hmm.
of entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're an entrepreneur, a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the best personal development course in the world, right? It's a course about your money mindset.
Yep.
It's a course about how you feel about yourself.
Yep.
It's like your confidence, like all those things are tested. And so I
Mm-hmm.
really see what you're doing from that money piece is like unlearn the probably the bad money thoughts that you have, or the things that your parents taught you or your grandparents taught you about money. You have to
Yep.
unlearn that stuff, because it, especially if they weren't entrepreneurs, mine weren't. And
Yep.
so,
Same.
like they felt like you had to have a job, and
Yep.
like you had to pay your bills every 2 weeks, and like that kind of stuff does limit when you're in a different kind of environment, when you're a business
Exactly.
owner and you have to learn everything from the
That's right.
bottom up,
That's
because
right.
it's just, such a different world for us. So
Yeah.
you have a gift for all of us today. Can you explain what that is?
Sure. The gift today is one of the things that all of us have in common is debt, right? Whether it's good debt or bad debt, doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm offering everyone a complimentary guide to becoming debt free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage and student loans, without you sacrificing your lifestyle, to the first 10 people who request it using the provided link. I believe that Stephanie has the link. Or if you're
We're going to do a comment. So what we'll
okay.
do, we are going to, if you do hashtag debt free,
Mhm.
the first 10 people to comment under the post, because these posts are, there's one in LinkedIn, and there's one in Facebook. So
Okay.
we'll take the first 10 comments that do hashtag debt free, and then we'll send you the link to download the guide.
That
So that'll
sounds
be
good.
perfect.
Yep. And this guide is definitely going to teach you a debt payoff method that works with your current behaviors and not against them. So you can confidently achieve your financial goals, and you will understand the two most important areas of your finances that impact your cash flow the most. And as a clue, most financial gurus don't even mention these areas. Okay. And
Yeah.
then lastly, this guide will include a free 30-minute strategy session with me as well for those who are interested.
Oh, that's fantastic. So time with you to like get clarity about the guide.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
I love that. We already have people doing hashtag debt free in the comments already. You got
Oh,
Sheila, Tara, Twyla, someone who's a Facebook user I can't see right here because the name isn't showing up, but we will follow up in the platform and make sure that everybody gets their guide
yeah.
as a result of today's conversation. So thank you, Jovan. It was so lovely chatting with you. I just want to mention to our listeners that if you'd like to meet Jovan or other awesome, amazing business entrepreneurs like her, you can come visit Empower Business Networking. We have the first Thursday of every month is our networking event, and we always allow guests to come visit. You can go to ebnnetworking.com to learn more about who we are, and I look forward to seeing all of you again soon.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.